After I had finished editing yesterday's episode, I did order the Tamiya XF22. And all being well, we'll be picking it up today. And I'll be doing a swatch of it and we'll see how does it compare with what I've already got. I hope it's radically different. It'd be a shame if it was the same as something I already had. Okay, we've got this thing all cleaned up. I don't want to be touching it with my greasy fingers now because, well, obviously I don't want to be touching it with my greasy fingers. The reason for that is I may not be priming everything. Now I know that people are going to be throwing up their hands in horror saying, oh, you have to prime, you have to prime. Yeah, did you ever see a car that wasn't dipped in primer? Well, no, well, I'm not going to be leaving this thing standing outside either, so I may not be priming everything. We'll just see how it goes here. However, I have not measured the actual hull. And let's just see what it really is, okay? By the way, this is a North American tape measure. It's the inches are the most predominant thing, at least that's the way it looks. This morning I was watching a video that one of the viewers did. It was Mark's video, and he used a tape measure, and I didn't even see inches on it. So this is a North American thing, you know, like Canada, United States. Anyway, now we had calculated that the model should be 1,311.4 millimeters long. Okay, now Trumpeter. I had to write this down because I couldn't remember it all. Now Trumpeter says it should be 1,318. Okay, now that's based on the everything is based on the fact that the real ship was 860.5 feet long. Okay. Anyway, we went through all of that. Let's just for the fun of it see what is it really here. And so let's just measure it, and we'll measure it in millimeters, not in inches. Okay, I can see right now this is not going to work because, you know, the tape measure is not going to be accurate. So I'm going to have to think of something else here. We'll get it. Now down at the stern, and I realize right now you can't probably see it, however, you know that I show everything. That includes changing the filters in my paint booth here. Apparently that irked one of the viewers. He said he was going to show him changing his furnace filters. Anyway, I guess you can't please everybody all the time. Yeah, well, I do. I have a tendency to do that. Maybe I go a little bit overboard. Maybe I shouldn't have showed the filters being changed. I don't know. But I thought that was a way of showing, you know, how this thing was built. Maybe that viewer was watching episodes 11, 12, and 13, and he knew how it was built. And he thought to himself, I don't need to see that again. Anyway, can't please everybody all the time. Sorry, my friend. Anyway, down at the other end, we've got this right angle, and the stern is butted up against it. Now this plastic here is not going to move because the paint booth is sitting on top of the edge of it. It's just not going no place. Now, this is the plan. Okay, so do you remember when I turned that? I think I videoed it. Anyway, okay, so here we go. Try not to get my hands in the way here so you can see what I'm doing. Just go right up against the bow here. We should be able to measure this to within a millimeter of being correct. Okay, now we move this out of the way here. Make sure it's still right. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Now, if I take and make a mark right here, Now we're going to have to allow for the width of the pen, right? Okay, so we got our little mark right here. Now if I take my tape measure and run it from this mark back to where, let's see if I move this out of the way, maybe you can see it there, way down at the other end. Alright, and we want it in millimeters. Maybe I have to move the hull. It's kind of in the way here. I don't want to be scratching anything. Okay, I think we have room now. The hull is skinnier if you lay it on its side. Alright, so you'll have to reach around the camera here and try not to bump it out of view. There we go. Alright, what do we got here? Okay, I'm right up against the other end there. Okay, so it is, excuse me, it is 1,311. That's what I'm getting. 1,311. Okay, that's what it really is. Now this is kind of interesting. We had calculated it should be 1,311.4. Well, if you take the width of the line, there's your 0.4 of a millimeter. Once again, Trumpeter, you did good. Now, mind you, your measurements were out a little bit, but that must have included, you know, maybe the flag flying off of the end of the ensign staff. Yeah. I just got back from the hobby store, and I think this purchase is probably one of the most pleasant experiences I've ever had. Went online a little while ago, ordered the stuff. They sent me a message saying it was ready for pickup. I just went and got it. And now the last time I went, they told me next time you come, just park outside and give us a call, and we'll bring it out to you. So I did. I parked outside, and I took my cell phone with me, and I just have a little $10 a month pay-as-you-go thing here. So anyway, you know, somebody like me should have a smartphone, right? Anyway, I don't. So I gave him a call, and the girl answers the phone, and I just give her my name, and she says, we'll bring it right out. And well, out comes a familiar, smiling, friendly face. And I roll down my window, and he hands me the bag through the window, and that was it. Now, Eliminator, you've started a precedence. After this COVID thing is over, we're going to keep expecting this sort of thing. Well, actually, that's probably not going to happen, though, because the store is interesting. You walk into that store, and first of all, you're greeted by at least 3 cats. And then as you're perusing around in the up and down the aisles, you hear this squawking going on, and you eventually get over to the paint section, and there's a huge bird cage there. And in it there's parrots. And the parrots actually talk. Really. They actually talk. Like, hello, or something like that. Anyway, yeah, when I was in there, actually this is a story I'm going to tell now that I heard happened, and Lori owns the store, and what happened was, I guess one of the parrots was trying to be mischievous, and as a customer would walk by, the parrot would say, "Rock, cellar dweller, rock, cellar dweller." And well, Lori got wind of this, that the parrot was telling people about the competition. So she thinks to herself, no, got to punish this parrot somehow, because we can't have this. So she takes the parrot and she puts it in the freezer. Well, of course, there's a whole bunch of squawking going on, and the squawking eventually gets less and less and less and less, and finally the squawking stops. And so Lori quick opens the freezer, takes the parrot out, and the parrot is very contrite. Anyway, the parrot says, okay, I'll watch my mouth from now on. But I do have one question, and Parrot points back to the freezer and says, what bad thing did that turkey do? I'm sorry, that's the best joke I can come up with today. Anyway, yeah, let's, I'm never going to get this primer on. Okay, so here's our XF22. And we've got lots, so I don't have to go running back there again, even though they'll bring it out to my car for me. I think we got enough to do this build, and possibly it'll be good enough for the hull of the Rodney when we get to it a year or so from now. All right, let's see if I can get some primer on here. No, don't think you have to pick up your phone and call the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Society. Yeah, that story was made up. Lori really did not stick her parrot in the freezer. But what was not made up is that they have parrots that talk. At least I think they're parrots. Maybe there's something else. If a bird talks, to me it's a parrot. Anyway, yeah, and they do really have at least 3 cats. It's kind of like going into a friendly petting zoo. Don't worry, Lori. People are going to want to come into your store as soon as this COVID thing is over. All right. I've just shaken this up in the paint shaker. But if you remember the last time we used this, we had concluded that it was too thick for the airbrush and we had to thin it out. I should maybe watch that video and just see. So let's just get some here. I'm just going to abbreviate. And THIN. Okay. Maybe I should be putting on my rubber gloves here. Yeah, you can tell it's just a little bit on the thick side. You know what? I'm probably not going to be able to read that now. Oh well, we'll know, right? Well, I don't know if that's 50-50, but it's probably 40-60. Okay, now I'll shake this up. Okay, I got my jar here to dip my little toothbrush in case I have to clean the nozzle off. I find that works pretty good actually every time it sort of dries out and plugs up. However, might be a good idea to just get a little bit more protection going on here. Alright, new green cloth is probably going to get, maybe I should put a staple in that. That'll be okay. Alright, now this can go here. Maybe that could go there for the time being. No, there's no grease on those. So might as well start on the stern and work our way back. And I will try to have everything so that you can see it. Okay, so I think I can safely go from the stern to about here. I'd probably do this in about 4 passes. I do want to keep everything more or less in the center of this if I can, because it is drawing the air in this way. I've closed my window so I don't have air wafting around here that's going to blow the overspray away from the front of this. It would have been nice if I could have left them open, but I can always do that later, I guess. All right, are we ready to go here? Yeah, I did shake this up, but we'll just give it a quick shake again. And I have the air pressure set to about 20, what do we got here? About 25 pounds. So that should be okay. Now what I'm going to want to do is just do a black band about an inch or so wide all the way along the side here. So yeah, be from, you know, if there's overspray, well, that's all right. After all, it is primer, so. Okay, I'll just readjust the camera here a little bit, maybe. About 2/3 full. Guess I'm gonna have to put this back. I didn't get a new one. May have to go over this a second time. Give it another coat.
I got a little bit of splatter there. Okay, and so it's gonna go. Okay, we used all of this. First of all, I do believe that I thinned it out too much. In fact, it seems to me somebody telling me way back over a year ago that this vinyl res, you don't have to thin it at all. So I don't know what was going on in my mind there, thinking I had to thin it out, but I did. Now the second side, it actually started to run on me, and I had this thinned out mess running down the side. So I grabbed a paper towel and completely wiped it off and restarted by holding my airbrush a little further away. Maybe I think I was just too close to it, and it was just going on too thick. Anyway, we got it. We'll take a good look at it tomorrow. We're all cleaned up here and ready for whatever we got to do. Hey, the nozzle's still in there. Okay, all right, we'll get it. Yeah, thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.